Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 6, episode 73 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Lidskin. Jonathan, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great, Sam. It's mid-major Thursday. How could I not be?
Happy mid-major Thursday to all who celebrate. We had some MAC games tonight, and I think we were going to lead the show with Tulsa. But I think we have to lead the show with the MAC tonight, Jonathan.
I think we do, Sam.
Would you like to start?
Merrimack, 0-1 in the Sam Fetterman quote graphic era.
Yeah, so if you have absolutely no idea what what Lidskin is talking about here, Merrimack on Instagram posted, and I'm pulling this up right now, a mix, a cover post, and a quote graphic for Kavere Kennedy. The quote is me saying he's playing like a candidate for MAC Player of the Year, which he is, and he still is.
He is, and he played well tonight.
And this is just unbelievable, in my opinion. The fact that we've got MAC programs, we've got real world athletic programs, we've got real people taking what I say and putting it on a quote graphic. I think Virginia Tech did this with Ryan Hammer back in the offseason. And I was like, that would be cool if someone did this for me. And I never actually thought it was going to happen.
So let's be clear here. This is the first quote graphic that you have been put on that was not made by CJ Weeps, correct?
I believe that is correct.
Okay, so far, teams are 0-1 following making a quote graphic with something said by Sam Fetterman.
I will also say Marist put me on one of those like tweet collage graphics last year.
Okay.
Penn did that when I broke the Fran McCaffrey.
When did Marist do that? Do you remember?
I think it was right when they started losing.
I was gonna say because they had a rough second half of conference play last year.
They had a rough February after the Siena game. I think it was after the Siena game that they posted it.
Yeah, so you're just the curse right now. That's just simply what it is.
In 23, I wrote an article about Riders' winning streak, and they immediately lost like 3 in a row. In 24, I wrote an article about Quinnipiac being really good to start the MAC season, and they lost 2 in a row immediately. So who knows? Let's see.
I think the moral of the story is you should just stop covering the MAC.
I don't think that's true. Yes, the Marist graphic was right after the Siena win.
Yeah. Anyway, good win for Iona tonight.
Yeah. All right, Jonathan. It's time to talk Tulsa.
It is.
Golden Hurricane 16-3. They are
68.
Not leading the American. That would be red,
blue,
FAU. But the Golden Hurricane are 4-2 in conference play, a game and a half back of the Owls. 60th in KenPom, which is the highest KenPom rank of anyone in the conference. 4 teams are in the top 100. Tulsa, Florida Atlantic, South Florida, and Memphis. Tulsa is the highest of those. Tulsa is the number 3 3-point shooting team in college basketball. They are the number 3 free throw shooting team in college basketball. Their free throw defense, Jonathan, is not very good. But this is an electric outside shooting team led by David Green, Miles Barnstable, Ade Popola as their outside shooters. And Tylen Riley is their star point guard who kind of runs the show for them. This is a team that they'll go a lot of ball screens. They create a lot of shots through their DHO actions. I really like the ways that they get their guys open and just how everybody knows that like these guys are shooters. These guys can really shoot it. And David Green, I think, has been that for really it's been all for the last 3 years, going back to his days at Rhode Island, when I wasn't like super convinced about the rest of his game. But that's come along, I believe, as well this year. Miles Barnstable was tremendous as a junior at St. Thomas last year. He's been even better this year. He's been terrific for them. Pola, as I mentioned, coming in, just another really, really solid player, hits a bunch of shots, doesn't need to make an impact in a lot of different ways because he makes those shots. And Riley gets to the line, gets in the paint, and gives them that element of the guy that they need, and he's awesome too.
Yeah, this is one of the best offenses in mid-major basketball right now, no doubt about it. And I know they've lost two conference games, but it's hard to say. If someone wanted to say that they were the best team in the American, it's really hard to argue that, especially after last night. Like, Memphis has had their struggles. We know that their talent is still a step above the rest of the American Conference.
I'm going to say this right now.
I
don't know that it is.
You don't think it is? Then the name value at least is.
Like, sure, Sincere Parker is a terrific scorer. Doug McDaniel was a high major player. Aaron Bradshaw was a high major player. Are the rest of these guys like notable?
I think you could.
Is Ashton Hardaway like starting at?
I think you can argue that they're talented individuals, but there's not a single winning basketball player on this team.
I think Julius Thedford can be a winning basketball player.
Yes. How could I forget about my guy?
But yeah, like that's kind of where we're at here with Memphis, and this to me, and there's no doubt in my mind, this has to be the last year of Penny Hardaway. They cannot afford to let this keep going. Just no chance.
Listen, on the actual game last night, this is to me a team that is well coached and organized offensively.
Did you see the last 5 minutes of this game?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this was just a game where like one team was organized offensively, the other team wasn't. Like when Memphis was, when Memphis wasn't hitting their shots, it felt like, they panicked and just like they became a bunch of individuals versus a team. And Tulsa's the complete opposite of that. Like, I don't think there's any doubt here that this is. I should preface this by saying I'm not, an expert on the American coaching carousel. But Eric Conkle was 14-40 heading into the season in conference play. Like, I don't think there's a doubt in my mind that this is a season that has saved his job. And part of that is due to the offense that they play.
He is in my opinion, clear front runner for American Conference Coach of the Year. Metrically,
no disrespect to Jakes, by the way, who's doing a tremendous job.
Jakes is a good coach, doing a good job. I think Adam Fisher's done a good job in conference play thus far. Sure. They've been good really since early December.
Paul Mills is having a good year at Wichita.
They've lost a couple now, and I think he's kind of on the
4-3 in conference play and 100th in Ken Pom. That's
I think he's on
where
the
they were last year.
He was in Trilly's hot seat watch.
Really? I mean, I know the expectations are pretty high there.
I mean,
but they have no doubt.
Year 3, and he's just doing now 2 spots higher than the year that got Isaac Brown fired.
Yeah,
like this is not good for Wichita. I would say I'm disappointed with UAB in conference play, although they have had the most difficult schedule in the conference. But yeah, I think probably 14 wins this conference. Would you agree?
Yeah, and they're projected.
And 13, right? I will be attending my first American Conference basketball game since UConn left the league next Saturday when South Florida visits Temple at 8 p.m. I will be.
This is no doubt a one-bid league, right?
I will be in the league. Well, okay, I will say this. I think if Tulsa wins out in the regular season, it's hard to leave out what would be probably 28 and 4.
29-4 American team.
I think it would be hard to leave them out. I think they're the only one that has any remote shot.
You would assume if they're 29-4, their metrics get a lot better than they are. Not to
I
say
would
they have
agree.
like,
They would probably get up
not
to
to
the
say they
40.
have like bad metrics by any means right now.
Their problem is they have no good wins.
And like the North
Memphis has their
Texas loss
first
isn't
top
great.
100 win. There are only 2 more opportunities for top 100 wins. Now, they don't have any bad losses. I believe that all their losses are within the first 2 quadrants. If I can check that.
It would be pretty.
No, they have a quad 3.
It would be pretty
North
fun.
Texas is
The
147.
North Texas game. That's got to be like borderline though, right?
If they're 147, the bar is 135.
Okay.
North Texas is also just not like.
It would be pretty interesting if
they're not
Tulsa
that good.
It would be pretty interesting if Tulsa was like 28-5 or something like that, and or 29-5, I guess it would be, and
Or it could be 28-5.
they lose in the tournament final right before
Yes.
the selection show.
Yeah, that if that's what you're referring to, then yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jonathan, what's next?
Ooh, it's a great.
You know what it's time for?
Valley
update.
This is interesting because the league had just a heck of a night yesterday. So we'll start with my beloved Murray State Racers, who dropped their first conference game yesterday. Gave up 101 doing it. Now, like, they did not play good defense, but like this was a really fast-paced game. So, the 101 ended up only being like 1.23 points per possession, which, to be clear, is not good. But Jalen Quinn, how about him? 34, shoots 14 of 24 from 2, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Like, Quinn's been a stud this season. He's taken a substantial step up offensively from where he was at Loyola Chicago for 3 years. The offense is better with him on the floor. His assist rate is still very, very good. He's drawing a lot more fouls this year than he has in previous years. I don't think Murray State should like panic or anything. Like, they weren't going undefeated in conference play. Nobody goes undefeated in conference play in this league. And Sam, jump in if you want. But like,
yeah, no, like I mean, I think that Eric Henderson is kind of he's a good coach with an experience of winning, and Drake is kind of in the mix of a mushy middle of like a good top of the valley, moderately decent middle of the valley this year. And like you've got teams like UIC that are surging while you have Northern Iowa
Northern Iowa's lost 5 in a row.
Yeah. So you've kind of got like a little bit of an opening now for Drake. Their next 3 games, I think all 3 of them are very winnable. Indiana State away, Evansville, Bradley. If you can win all 3 of those, which I don't think is likely, but I think it's possible. You're all of a sudden 7-5 going to Belmont, and you're looking at a team that is in play for that for a bye in Arch Madness.
Yeah, what's been frustrating, I think, so far for Drake is like the big storyline around them at the start of the season was like, when are they going to get Owen Larson back? And he's been back since early December, but he hasn't been good.
No,
like, that was supposed to be the boost to your backcourt, and he has not been that. So,
do we know if they're getting Exacti back?
I'm not 100% sure on that. He's obviously, important for them, like on the glass, and was actually, playmaking for them a little bit.
Yeah, no, I just think like it puts a lot on Federico.
Yeah, no, for sure. I want to say he's
someone, by the way, who we haven't mentioned that's been like really solid for them quietly is Andrew Alia. Just hits a bunch of shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, junior shooter that he doesn't
Yeah, I mean he played
not
for
a high
Darian
usage guy. He's
like played for Ben McCollum.
Yeah, he's
now he's playing.
He's the spot up shooter by every like definition of.
Yeah, and like he's good at that. Like he can hit shots, but like this is a guy who was with the winning teams that made the NCAA tournament the last 2 years. So I just think that's something to keep an eye on. Like when you can have any sort of experience and continuity. I think Drake is like, I know that they obviously had that loss to UIC, but they're well positioned after this Murray State win to take at least these next two against Evansville and Indiana State. Bradley, I think, will be a little bit tougher. I guess Indiana State on the road, they've won both of their conference games have been home wins. Both their conference wins have been home wins. So I think that'll be something to keep an eye on. Should be an interesting one on Saturday.
Yeah,
Definitely not the Indiana State Drake game that we had 2 years ago this time, though. That
No,
was
and to circle back to your point, I certainly think Drake is in the mix. You just would like to see a little more consistency from them. They've certainly played better than they did early in the season. Like, they lost to SIUE at home. You lose to Robert Morris. Like, they beat Northern Arizona in that opener in Sioux Falls, but it certainly wasn't a smooth win. I think
the next thing I want to ask you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
We mentioned it, but Northern Iowa's lost 5 in a row now. They're 4-5 in Valley play. That includes losses to Valpo, UIC, Bradley, Illinois State, and Belmont. Not the worst losses in the world. I mean, UIC, as we mentioned, is surging. Bradley, Belmont, and Illinois State are good teams. But this is now, they have failed to score 70 points in all 5 of these games. They have failed to score 62 points in the last 3. They scored 44 against Valpo and 54 against Illinois State, Jonathan. They are in a bad spot right now.
Yeah, well, you kind of hit it on the head there. I mean, they have dropped like 50 spots since their last win on an offensive efficiency. Like, it's just been, it wasn't a good offense to begin with, but it was passable with the defense that they were playing. Now they can't play offense whatsoever. Like, they simply don't have anyone.
It feels very Rutgers.
They don't have anyone that can create their own shot. I like Leon Bond.
I think one of their problems is even when they get a stop and they get running, they don't ever push to get in transition. They are one of the slowest teams in terms of average possession length. And if you look at just the way that they will they don't throw outlet passes. They kind of just let things settle down and start a half-court set. And there's nothing wrong with that if you have the guys to win in the half-court, if you have the shooters to make it work. This team doesn't have that half-court spacing. I'm not saying they need to run in transition all the time. I think that takes away some of their identity. I think that they need to be a little bit more proactive in hunting transition opportunities. Maybe, and I know like they're not a pressure defense team. Like, that's not their thing. So it's not about like getting out there and trying to force a ton of turnovers and running there. I think they have to run off stops. Create advantages by getting your guys in space in transition. Like, Trey Campbell has been really inefficient this year. Comparably, his offensive rating is down to 97. Why not try and get him a little bit more space?
Yeah, like this team undoubtedly has athletes, and like they're not really using it to their fullest extent. And don't get me wrong, like Ben Jacobson is probably the best coach in this conference's history. He's won the more games than anyone in the modern era of college basketball in the Missouri Valley. But like,
he's the best coach in the conference history, no doubt. I completely agree.
Part of this is he is stuck in his ways. Like, part of this is he is stuck in his ways, and like, he's earned the right to be stuck in his ways with how much he has won over his career. But like, them being 363rd in adjusted tempo is like not the most efficient way this team to play.
Yeah, they're too athletic to be doing this.
Correct.
Do you have any thoughts on the actual game against Illinois State?
I said earlier this week that like both teams needed a bounce back win. Like, good on Illinois State to go, play a game in Northern Iowa style and come out with a win. But this was just really ugly. Skonberg continues to play really well for them. He's been a huge boost to them this year. And, maybe Illinois State gets rolling again. You beat Bradley and Northern Iowa at home. They've struggled on the road this year to some extent. So we'll see, when they go back on the road.
Yeah, they played Belmont at Belmont on Saturday.
Yeah. So
all right, that's a good Valley
update.
One. Unless you have anything else.
I'm trying to look real quick. Like, shout out UIC and Valpo. Both teams are playing really well. Weren't expecting to be in contention in the conference this year, but we're almost midway through conference play. Some teams are midway through conference play, and UIC is sitting at 5-4 on the verge of a bye, and Valpo is right there with them, one game behind.
So I didn't actually watch the MAC games tonight. I had an event, so I don't want to get into them. Except for I'm going to give you like some brief stuff that I saw and that I noticed, and I was able to kind of go back and watch a little bit of the key moments on film. Man, the way that Fairfield controlled the glass in big spots against Niagara, huge. And obviously Tony Williams coming through with a big shot. This is a team that's now been starting 4 freshmen for a while now around Braden Sparks. Tony Williams is coming along, and when he's on, this is a guy that can kind of put points on the board. He's now scored double figures in the last 4 games, made 3 threes today, including the game winner with under 10 seconds left. Man, Niagara, they are not good. Like, just they're bad.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. Siena holds Marist to 50 points, 0.83 points per possession. And it's not like I was talking last week about Siena's ability to hit outside shots and how that was kind of their X factor. They only hit 5 today. Like, if they can hit 8, like, they're going to win basically every time. They only hit 5 today, and they won by 19. I think that kind of just shows you, like, this defense is legit. It's number 3 in the conference right now. It's top 150 in the country. They go on they win at home, and they'll go to Buffalo next weekend for the Buffalo trip. That's a tough one to sweep. It always is. But those are 2 teams that are struggling at the moment in Niagara and Canisius. If you can come out of that 9-3 going into the Iona, St. Peter's, Quinnipiac, Marist, Merrimack, St. Peter's stretch, you're looking to be in good shape to make some statements.
I have a state of the MAC question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So obviously, like, the conference is ranked 25th, and it was ranked 25th last year, overall. How many teams though at the top do you think would be the best team in last year's conference?
4.
Marist, Siena, Quinnipiac, Merrimack?
Yeah.
Okay, you think this year's
Merrimack? I also kind of think, like, if you match up, like, this year's Iona team at its best, they're better than anyone in last year's.
Yeah,
they're just not at their best consistently. St. Peter's is a tough one to judge because, like, I think they could be.
They're just, like, efficiency margins are never going to be, like, eye-popping because they play really low.
They've been good over the last month or so. It's just that, like, I'm not like a power ranking. I'm still like, they've played a lot of games at home. Like, I know they went on the road and beat Quinnipiac, but they've only played 3 of their first 9 conference games on the road. Like, I'm still a little bit skeptical of them being 8-1 good. I think Bashir Mason is a little skeptical of them being 8-1 good. I think he said after they beat Ryder, like, we were picked 11th. I feel like I'm overachieving right now. Like, yeah, you are overachieving, and that's good. But I just think overall this St. Peter's team has the pieces. They're playing really well. They could win the MAC tournament. I think I would be surprised if they don't drop 3 or 4 more games in conference play. Just knowing this league.
Yeah, Iona has been.
I think 15-5 wins the MAC this year.
Circling back to what you said, like Iona has had moments this year where they've just looked.
Iona at its best is Iona at its absolute peak is better than any other team at their absolute peak in this conference. The problem is we have not seen that with any form of consistency all year and really at all in the last month.
Yeah, we haven't seen it in a legitimate stretch for like 2 months.
Since the first 4 games of the season.
Right.
But they still, and I've talked about this stat all year long. They lead the league in kill shots by a lot. They have 21. The second place going into today, I think, had 11. No team in the league has the ability to go nuclear like they do. And they've had like 4 20-0 runs.
Yeah.
My problem with Iona is like the consistency just hasn't been there whatsoever. Big win today for them. Season-saving win. It really felt like. They're 5-5 now. I'm going to their game on Saturday against Manhattan. They win that, they're 6-5. In position to be in position.
How many teams missed this tournament?
3. And it's definitely, I think Ryder or
Niagara are missing.
Yes, I believe that is going to happen.
And then
would not be shocked if Niagara like kind of picks off someone at home and wins like and gets up to like 4-9 or something. But I think it'll be tough for them to kind of make up 2 games, 3 games.
Yeah, fair.
Canisius, I fear they've played their best basketball already.
It's a real shame to hear.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
There's one team in this conference every year. Since like I guess it's been 3 years since Patino left, right?
Yeah.
So there's like I feel like one team in this conference every year that I kind of latch onto as like my team, and like this year, like it's been Siena since the preseason, just because I thought they were going to.
Who was it 2 years ago?
What'd you say?
Who was it 2 years ago?
It was Iona because it was Tobin's first year,
right?
And then obviously last year was Marist. And,
yeah, and that's what
they got me banned from Max Spaces. So
there is one account that is not banned from Max Spaces.
Correct, and he may or may not have made an appearance last week.
No, he's great. What else you got? Mid majors.
I wanted to make sure I hit this in like, the not wrapping up part of the show. Like, shout out Eric Pratt. He's been playing as an absolute ball lately.
And he's like doing it, I think, with an injury.
Oh, is he really? That I didn't even know.
Yeah, I think Goodman pushed out a tweet. It's like, oh, he's got like a torn ACL and he's getting surgery after the year or something.
Goodman didn't tweet about Youngstown State tonight. Very disappointing.
Let's see. What did Goodman tweet about Eric Pratt?
While Sam pulls this up, Stony Brook has won 3 in a row. Pratt had 18 against.
He's playing with a torn meniscus on both sides of the same knee.
I didn't know you could tear your meniscus in 2 sides of your knee, but I'm no doctor.
One of the pod all-time favorite teams, Hofstra, has lost 3 in a row. They lost today at North Carolina A&T.
Ooh, I didn't even see that one.
That's gross loss for the Pride.
Did Stony Brook and Hofstra switch places? Did they Santa Claus each other?
I think they Indiana football, Nebraska basketball themselves.
Yeah, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, Northeastern, unfortunately for them, they lost to Stony Brook today, and they are injured to hell this year. They're without Xander Allery, L.A. Pratt, and I think there was one other guy who's out for the season for them.
Yeah, so Eric Pratt, just to sum this up, they beat Hofstra, who was undefeated in the conference at the time, and he has 18. Then the next game, they won a double OT thriller against Charleston, and he goes for 39 and 13 assists. And then today, they go to Northeastern. They win by 15. He goes for 31. Perfect 12 of 12 from the line. He's just putting the team on his back right now.
One more thing I want to talk about in the CAA. Shout out to the now 500 Towson Tigers.
4 in a row.
4 in a row.
Yeah.
Good for them.
We were very
52,
concerned 2
50,
weeks ago, and they haven't lost since.
52, 58, and 59 points allowed in their last 3 games. They have North Carolina Wilmington on Saturday. North Carolina A&T on Saturday. And then there was one other big-time result out of the CAA today. William and Mary, 77. UNC Wilmington, 70, Jonathan. Kyle Pulliam at 16. Brockoff, 15. Cade Haskins, 15 as well. Wilmington shot under 40% from 2. William and Mary shot nearly 70% from 2. That's your difference right there. William and Mary, terrific 2-point offense.
Charleston came back to beat Campbell, so they pull within 1 game of first place.
All right, what else you got?
I
don't really have any West Coast thoughts today. I feel like I've overdone the West Coast thoughts.
No, and it's also just like,
oh, wild game, by the way, in New Hampshire. New Hampshire 88, Binghamton 82 in triple overtime. Jonathan, Binghamton had 3 players foul out. I didn't even know Binghamton had 3 available bench players.
I did not know that either.
Nevin Ibrosi
had to go to the walk-ons there.
He definitely played in the Army game, like at the end when everyone was in foul trouble in that game because they went to overtime and they had 2 guys foul out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Binghamton. Unfortunate injury situation this year. Now 0-6 in conference play. Unfortunate news for our Highlanders, our favorite NJIT Highlanders, down 87-74.
It was worse than that.
Yeah, and it was a lot worse than that. Shout out UMBC, now 4-1.
Yeah, tied with Vermont for first.
Tied with Vermont for first place. What else you got?
Let's see here. Shout out Portland State, undefeated.
Yeah, good team.
6-0 in conference, 156 in KenPom. They knock off Eastern Washington on the road.
2 of my favorites from that team. Obviously, you've got Terry Miller, Jalen Henderson, and another one, Trayvon Minot. So three players I really like on that team.
Yeah, they've been playing great. They're 12-5 on the season. Defense has just been awesome. First in the conference. They just shut teams down, man. The last two games they've scored 63 and 65 and won both.
I know we mentioned Youngstown State beating Green Bay. Did we want to talk about the other thing that happened last night in the Horizon League?
IU Indy?
Ben Howlett.
Dude, that was in consideration to lead the show. Of course.
IU Indy, 103 points. They win 103-85 at Oakland. Ben Howlett told me the system always gets better as the season goes on, Jonathan.
And it is.
As IU Indy turned a corner, are they going to be a threat in the Horizon League tournament?
I mean, why not? Okay, I understand that, in theory, it's tough to play that style.
But you got that conference doesn't have the back-to-back in the
Correct.
first 2 games.
Correct. So they get the rest break. And also, all it takes is 1 week of shooting the ball really, really well. So why not?
They are right now dead last in 3-point offense and dead last in 3-point defense in the Horizon.
What if they just get hot, man? What if they just get hot? Who knows?
What if Binghamton just gets hot? What if Ryder just gets hot?
Okay, listen. Losing to Detroit Mercy is not the world's greatest thing, but the 2 teams now that they've knocked off in the last week here, Robert Morris and Oakland, those are both good Horizon League teams.
Yeah, RMU is 500 today.
Yeah, I'm looking for reasons to be optimistic, man. It's IU Indy. How can you not be?
Me too. I think I'm good. I think that's all I got. Short episode today.
Yeah, I'm looking through yesterday's shout out to Ken Palm, who got the exact score of the Boston Lafayette game correct.
Yeah, also wanted to shout out Diane Nessa from Cleveland State. 57 points and 17 rebounds over his last 2 games. Got into the line 36 times in that stretch. Both wins for the Vikings.
Oh, this is mid-major adjacent. Like, Mountain West is trending towards, possibly being one bid. So I think I'm allowed to talk about them on
of course.
the show. Like,
I mean, we're
UNLV
doing a whole Mountain West show in 2 weeks.
UNLV is playing really, really well.
It's about a month early for that. They're supposed to do this at the end of February, Jonathan.
Just in time for them to convince everyone that they're going to win the Mountain West tournament.
It's going to be the year, Jonathan. It's going to be the year.
Only for them to lose by 15 in the quarterfinals.
They won. They were 5-7 and then finished 11-9 last year, and they lost by 12 in the quarters. 2 years ago, they were 2-4, went 12-6, lost in the first game they played.
It's Pastner. Like, as we know, he has a different plan than what everyone else does.
It might take him 30 years, but it's important. That's a load-bearing tweet, man.
But so a couple weeks ago, they lose by 30 at Wyoming, and it's like, okay, like this.
We're talking about Sundance Wicks.
This might be a dead team walking, and then they lose to Colorado.
Wyoming
State.
hasn't won since, by the way.
Yeah, it's not furthering your cause, but then the last 3, they go out and they beat Boise in overtime. They go win handily at San Jose State, and then they win at Utah State by double digits on Tuesday night. And they got San Diego State at home coming up this weekend. Like, if they can win this one, like, we might have to start talking about them as like a legitimate threat in this conference.
All right, Jonathan.
They'd be 6-2 in the league, and nobody else would have less than 2 losses.
All right, Jonathan, you want to take us home?
Yes, Sam, I'd love to. If you came.
Hold on. Tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern, yes. Stephen F. Austin head coach Matt Brower will lead us off, and then we will go into our weekend preview. 5:30 Eastern. Don't miss it on Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Steelers. Jonathan, you want to take us home?
If you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about Sam Fetterman quote graphics, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. This has been Season 6, Episode 73 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Steelers. We'll see you the next time.